again and then get the shit going.
Yeah, we're the same motherfuckers as last time.
He introduced it. Welcome back to Tyro. You know what? If you just clicked on this video randomly and you missed the part 1, we already spoke about the DC animated universe and our thoughts on that. It was lengthy, but you know what? We had to get that shit out.
It was more positive than this one's going to be.
Definitely, because this time we're going to talk about what is still somewhat a hot topic, which is the DC cinematic universe. The Batman vs Superman, the Justice League, the New 52, all of this thing, because it's all encapsulated in what's going on now at this time, 2015. How we feel about it? Let's start at I'm going to start at the beginning. Fair warning, this might be a very big ramble because there's a lot of negativity going on here. I'm going to try to be constructive and somewhat positive to the best of my ability. But
that's good for you because I can't think of one positive thing off the top of my head.
When you look at DC theoretically or looking at their live action stuff, again, my problem with DC, again, is that they're always just so narrow-sighted and focusing on Batman, Superman.
So not enough variety in character.
No, not enough variety. And I'm just, particularly with Batman, I'm just so sick of this guy. Batman's a cool character, yes, but my God, forget about the animated stuff. Now we've got Gotham on TV right now.
Oh yeah.
He's already just had a very successful trilogy by Christopher Nolan. You can't even give Superman enough time to deal with his own shit. You've got to throw Batman in there. That's not enough. So let's throw in the Justice League too. I'm like, and then that's Batman. Superman, they've always just Superman, the 4 movies from the 70s or whatever, to the 80s, 90s, the Lois and Clark. I'm talking about live action right now. And now
there's always something with Superman. Yeah,
Superman's bank. For DC, Batman and Superman, my point is they're bankable. They will stick with them. Even though they got that rogues gallery, even though they got the character set, they always sticking with them. And, you know, when I look at Marvel, at the end of the day, they came with this, even though DC, Superman have started the, superhero movie franchise, when we go back to, let's say, the superhero revolution of TV, I don't know if you want to call it the Silver Age, but people say Blade, was it 1999 Blade?
Oh yeah, I think X-Men and Blade kind of started it.
X-Men and Blade started it, but even then, people were not calling it the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, because it was Fox doing it.
Okay, but superhero movies...
Yeah, they weren't as many to actually fill a universe.
Okay, but superhero movies were just coming out. And I just felt like it didn't feel calculated. It just felt like people were making movies about these heroes. Meanwhile, DC are sitting on their laurels again. What are we going to do next? Nothing. They just did nothing.
So you would like to see this sooner happen? Like all these DC characters come in?
People are saying that, DC are playing catch up with Marvel, and they're copying that. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But they never genuinely intended to do this. For me,
like they never had a strategy planned out.
Yeah, they never had a strategy. They were never genuinely going to do this. When Man of Steel came out, the original plan, for as far as I'm concerned, was Man of Steel 2, and just do like a normal sequel thing. But then they saw Avengers, and they were like, oh shit, we are sitting on a cast of characters we can actually use, isn't it? Well, so first, Batman and Superman. Everyone wants to see that. World's finest. Great. What was it, 2 years ago? Comic-Con convention, they, training, everyone's going wild.
Yeah, it was a fucking mess because they had the guy read out of, Dark Knight Returns. And for those of you
remember, Bruce, I was the one that did this to you. I was the one.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't read it, that's set it's almost like a what if story. It's set in the future where Batman's fucking old. So for them to introduce him in that context, I'm like, you're gonna introduce him as an old man, or you're gonna introduce him at the end of his career? Like, at this point, you're just shoving him in there because he has to be in there. That's it.
But again, Batman's bankable. The thing is, I'll tell you this. I never hated Man of Steel. Don't get me wrong.
I did.
I know. I'll let you say what you think about it. We're not going to go on too long. But I will say, I thought Man of Steel is a new Superman. The movie has problems. It's not a perfect movie. But it's definitely 10 steps up from Superman Returns. And I just thought they got something to work with. They made a lot of mistakes. But I actually liked it. But the complaints everyone made, I agreed with. So I thought, you know what, man? With Superman, Man of Steel 2, let's see what they do next. No, forget that. Forget it. Batman. We need the bats in here. Damage control, Batman.
Not even him, like everybody, like Wonder Woman.
No. That came later. That's what. No, the first thing was Batman and Superman because everyone knows the world's finest. That's his own thing.
Oh yeah,
and even that. So
okay.
Even that, I thought. Really, you're not even. If it was like the third movie, if it was Man of Steel 2, and then that,
yeah,
I would
separate
think
Batman movie and then come together for the third one. Yeah.
I would think, okay, I would think that's the scene, but the second movie, you jump in straight. So first of all, Batman and Superman, I just thought, okay, maybe it could be good. Then all of a sudden you start hearing rumors, just the rumors that no, they want to do Justice League thing. And I thought to myself, there's no way they're gonna do that's ridiculous. Then I see, I don't even know. I guess it was a title. When I saw Dawn of Justice, I was like,
wasn't impressed, huh?
I was like, okay, wait. Dawn of Justice. You've done none of these characters. Okay, all right. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot Green Lantern. My mistake.
Yeah, like anybody wants to remember that movie. Like even DC wants to forget about that movie.
I'm maybe not giving them the benefit. They tried to do something. Green Lantern, and even I didn't think it was that terrible. I know. And look at me. See, I'm even positive, and I know that.
You go, man. Just dig that hole.
All right. So maybe. So Justice League. I'm thinking. I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Aquaman. I haven't seen Martian Manhunter. I haven't seen Flash. I think the Flash TV show was just come back. I haven't seen that. I'm like, so when they said Dawn of Justice, I just thought. Then they started to release. I'm fast forward now. You started seeing the new pictures. Then Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're really doing this. You haven't got an animated series anymore. You haven't shown these characters on their own. And they
never had movies, never.
And you're going all in right away. Second Superman movie, Batman vs Superman, and now fuck it. We all know it's just pre-Justice League movie.
Well, it's actually like this. You weren't far off when you said total change and out. It's actually linked to change in Warner Brothers. So,
please bring the facts.
Absolutely. So. We need to talk about two people. First of all, Dick Parsons. Dick Parsons was the CEO of Time Warner, that owns Warner Brothers, till 2008. So technically, the last big Marvel, they wish they were Marvel. Last big DC project that they headed up while this guy was there was Dark Knight.
Okay.
And then the chairman of the company, after this guy, Dick Parsons, stepped down. Jeffrey, Bukies?
Why are we laughing at people's names?
Anyway, you can put it up there.
Yeah.
He's a very intelligent man, and obviously ahead of Time Warner, which is a huge multi-billion company. So respect to him. Basically, he came in, so there's a change in management, and the approach they had up until Dark Knight was that these franchises are very valuable, so they don't want to damage the brand. Every time they do it, they want to do it.
What franchise are you talking about?
Any DC brand, like DC as a whole, they're very valuable. So when Christopher Nolan was coming up to the Dark Knight, he had to do a whole presentation, a full pitch of how he wants to approach the character, who he wants to cast, what villains is he thinking about doing.
After Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Like a whole presentation, like a lined out plan. Same with Superman Returns with Bryan Singer. So very valuable property, very careful approach. After Dick Parsons left, approach is totally different. Suddenly, they're looking at it like, we have all this content, we have all these characters that would make money, and we're not doing anything with them.
But when did they come to that conclusion?
Oh, well, I wasn't there, but obviously this is post-Dark Knight. So when Dick Parsons left, the whole company goes through a transition.
No, the only reason I interject there is because I'm saying because of Marvel.
Well, the cinematic universe comes as a copy of Marvel, but the TV and all that stuff, like Arrow, Gotham.
That's always been their MO. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit. But
but basically what we need to understand is that that basically the approach is different. The approach is we don't need to be so careful anymore. We need to make sure to monetize these characters, no matter how we do it. And the fact that the Avengers was so successful, you can even tell by the Dark Knight Rises numbers, where suddenly people were like, "This isn't fun. This is too depressing."
Yeah.
Versus the Avengers, that they were like, this is a clear way to go. So they were fast tracking everything. Like, my personal complaint is that the reason why I'm not on board for any of these movies is Dark Knight, obviously, from back to front, is a well thought out movie. Even if you take the comic book elements out of it, it's still a good movie. And I'm not talking about Batman as a Batman fan or as a Christopher Nolan fanboy or any of those tropes. I'm talking with somebody who likes a good movie. That movie had good acting, good writing, good cinematography. Everything was good because it had somebody who had a genuine idea of what he wants to do on screen. Nowadays, all these DC movies are just on paper. We talk about DC Cinematic Universe. There aren't even enough movies for a cinematic universe. You know, all these are on paper. You don't have writers attached, actors attached, directors attached. We don't even know if Tyrese is the Green Lantern yet. They just take whoever they can from Fast and the Furious because Marvel has all these great actors like Idris Elba on lockdown. And they put this timeline out like, we're going to make all these movies. But there's not one person attached to these projects who ever wanted to make the movie, who has a clear vision. So I'm like, it's okay that you feel like you don't want to sit on all these properties anymore and make money off of them. But you completely drop the ball of your previous approach to get people who are inspired and have a real idea to make a quality movie. So you're settling for less, and they're going to drop in quality, and they're going to drop in box office, like they did with Man of Steel. Because Man of Steel, you can tell by the movie, they had no fucking clue what they were doing. The movie's inconsistent as hell.
You know, the thing is, I look at, from a business perspective, I see they have no choice. They see Marvel making those moves, they're sitting on a gold mine, and they have to make the move. But I look at this, I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I just don't see how it would work. You haven't established these characters. You haven't got the structure, the foundation to do it properly. Even, like I said, even the Batman versus Superman movie, to me, would have been a delicate structure to form.
Yeah, if somebody was doing it who always wanted to do it and came with like a lined out project, but they cast actors last minute. Like Jesse Eisenberg, really? You know, Ben Affleck. Like, if you look at Ben Affleck's resume after Daredevil. Yeah.
Daredevil.
He's a good director. Anytime he's at the helm of the project, he does great movies recently. So I'm not coming in like just hating on the guy. But I'm like, if I want to do a Batman movie, I want to do my own take on the character. I want to cast somebody who hasn't fucked up anything close to that type of movie before. You know.
But again, innit, they don't even. It's all about carefulness. Look, Ben Affleck, at least he's bankable. Everyone loves him for Argo. Everyone loves him for The Town. You know, maybe he had a misstep with Daredevil, but you know, he's a name brand. People are going to come to see him. People are going to see Henry Cavill. You know, and then if we get more names, Gal, you've seen Gal get done on the Fast and the Furious, and you know, the funny thing is, the movie was meant. What the Comic Con thing was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, or last year.
And the movie's now been pushed back because they decided to introduce a Justice League element, but they still haven't introduced any villain. And Lex Luthor, to me, is if you're going to introduce all these members of Justice League, Lex Luthor's not enough, unless these guys are just going to be cameos. And if that's the case, the movie's already going to be terrible. Because I don't want to. The guy from Conan's just going to be a cameo. What are you going to see? Aquaman cameo, Wonder Woman cameo, Green Lantern cameo, Batman and Super. You know, honestly. And there was a rumor this movie was meant to be split into two.
Oh yeah, I mean
that should have happened because they're building this movie up too much. Oh, we've pushed the film back a year because we need time to get it right. I'm like, no. The movie's built up way too much. You're taking way too many risks. People are waiting. Marvel's already got 3 trailers out for like 3 different movies and TV series. Yeah. You know what? Let me derail for a second. Let's get back to the movies in a minute. So when it comes to TV, DC ain't doing nothing animated, but they got live shows. Yeah. They've got The Flash. They've got Green Arrow.
They have too many live shows.
And they've got Constantine. Yeah.
No. And what about Gotham?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot Batman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta. But that's the thing. Like when I heard just the rumor of Gotham, I was like, so what's next? The Real Housewives of Metropolis?
Let me just say this: they have nothing to do with each other as well. Yeah. No. So in essence, it doesn't help. Even if all of those TV shows were good, it's got nothing to do with the cinematic universe anyway. So it doesn't help. And usually, This is why I always thought it would be better if they had an animated show, because that helps you get the found. Actually, let me bring up a better point. The live action shows are completely rewritten and completely different universes. I've watched every episode of Arrow, by the way, guys. To say they've taken liberties with, I know enough about Arrow from watching the cartoons and stuff to know this guy. The show is melodramatic as hell. It's cool in terms of fan service. You're getting a lot of, you're seeing so many cool things, so many cool villains. But man, this show is over dramatic as hell. The first season was cool. The rest of it is just there. The Flash looks like fun. To be fair, The Flash looks like fun. Gotham, so far, is okay. But none of these shows do anything to help DC cinematically. And in terms of just the shows on their own, they just Smallville, by the way, was okay. It was okay, but again, I'm just tired of these all of those characters I named before. They've already had shows. Except for Green Arrow, they've already had shows. Flash had a show before. Superman had a show before. Batman had everything before. So the only thing, Green Arrow is the only fresh thing they got.
Technically, Green Arrow was on Smallville for like how many seasons?
Thank you. Actually, and that's why he got a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Green Arrow was one of the best. Green Arrow and Lex Luthor were the two best things in Smallville. What's that guy's name in Smallville again? Tom Welling. He was okay, but anyway, my point being is that on the animation side, you got nothing DC. On the TV side, you've done what you've always done. You're not breaking any waves. And on the cinema side, to say you're taking a gamble is a under exaggeration, if that's a word. It's just you guys, you've built this movie up so much, you've taken so much risk on, and I know for a fact, if this movie flops, they're gonna wash everything away. Because
I fucking hope so.
Because they've got a list, just like Marvel, they've said, oh, we've got this coming, and Wonder Woman's gonna have a movie after this, and I'm like, why don't you wait and see if you get this Justice League movie right before you decide this, because I'm telling you, man, I don't mind Zack Snyder as much as other people, but considering all these elements, Cyborg and Wonder Woman, what I've seen so far, look, you can't introduce some of these actors, yeah, they may not be A-star, like Ben Affleck, but there's no way Jason Momoa or Gal Gadot are just going to make 2-second cameos. They're hiring them for bigger parts in this movie. Never underestimate. If they do, the movie's doomed to fail. If you're going to bring these characters just for 2 seconds, I can't even imagine. This is the problem. Yeah, and I'm just talking about myself. I'm not arrogant. I can't imagine. When I close my eyes, I can't imagine this being any good right now. Because they haven't built anything up. This is a whole gamble. If this works, I will eat my fucking hat and say, you know what, I had no faith in DC, because right now they haven't done anything to secure any faith in me. They're just copying Marvel, and they don't have any foundation to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a minute ago about different approach and just trying to monetize these characters either through TV or by shoving them in movies and trying to copy Marvel with all these projects, like Suicide Squad, that would make more sense as a spin-off, like as a one-off episode in a TV show where you see it from the villain's perspective, rather than you introducing big villains like the Joker now in a movie, and you want that character to be in the center, but you also have Will Smith who needs to be in the center, and for a while they were rumoring to have Tom Hardy, who's such a good actor that he needs to be in the center. So now you have 3 characters that's supposed to be in the center of a team movie where everybody needs to be on equal terms.
But they're keeping so much of those deals under wraps.
Because they don't know what to do. They
don't.
Hurrying up. And my point, my big problem is, and what I was afraid, and why I am not on board with any of this, is not out of personal fandom. Just if you think about it, going back to The Dark Knight, I have to keep referencing that movie.
That's their main thing. That's what they put everything under. Everyone's saying everything's being copied from that template that Christopher Nolan told.
Even Marvel movies, like the villain getting caught. Yeah. Somebody faking their death, like Commissioner Gordon. It's such an influential movie. But my main point with it isn't actually about anything specific to The Dark Knight as a film. Okay. It's specifically to the approach that you had a very high quality movie there. Yeah. And what everybody was hoping that, okay, now any comic book movie needs to live up to that standard. Yeah. And Marvel came in and said, as long as you have a brand called Marvel, you can have the villain be an actor, you can have the script be nonsense, You can have plot holes and just make a joke and move on.
You can have a fucking raccoon in a tree.
Yeah. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy is doing like a very fun comedic movie. But you can have lower quality individual movies as long as it's under a same brand, and then bring out the big blockbuster. So instead of keeping that quality, now we go under. That's at least Marvel has their own thing going on. Now DC has nothing. So we went from a very high quality movie to just shoving these characters to where they become a cliche. Like Batman in this movie, what I criticize Ben Affleck of, like he won't even have an original take on the character. They're not. Doesn't even have a voice. They're gonna do it in post to disguise his voice. I'm like, at least every previous actor had a different take. And what I really wanted out of the casting, like in the previous episode, we talked about Kevin Conroy as the animated Batman. Every cinematic Batman, every actor who tackled them did the same thing, in a sense. They did different takes on the character, but in terms of their transition, they talked in their normal voice as Bruce Wayne, and then when they're Batman, they're the truck's going. They disguise their voice. Kevin Conroy said, you know what, Batman is the actual person, Bruce Wayne is the played-up act. So he talked in his regular voice as Batman, and when he was Bruce Wayne, he was like, oh, hi! He went 2 octaves higher. It's just somebody doing an original take on the character. Nowadays, everybody's saying is, oh, Batman is just a chin. That's it. A chin and
that's what they said. Oh, why are you playing up in that? Because anyone could put on the mask.
You're moving away from taking these stories seriously and turning them into fan service. Oh, I just want Batman there. I don't care. Oh, Ben Affleck's handsome. He has the chin. I'm like, I know he can do a performance, but I'm looking for somebody who does something new and exciting. And that's why it takes time, and they should have left it alone. This was the perfect time for them to do movies with lesser known characters because there was demand. Instead, they're going to rehash stuff and damage the brand. And what really gets me going, that they say, even if they mess it up, you can retell these stories all over again. They do it in the comics all the time.
They will.
But what everybody keeps forgetting, that comics don't make money. The reason why DC and Marvel are owned by Disney and Warner Brothers in the first place, because the comic books didn't make money. Why they had to kill off Superman and do all these dumb comics to drive sales, because they were going under, they were going bankrupt. And that's because all the crazy stuff they did in the comics in terms of story, all the rehash or reboots, narrowed their audience down to a niche. Nerds who are motivated by escapism. They want to escape into this world, they want to read the same stories. And for them it's great. I got nothing against you. Read your comics, that's fine. It's just a certain quality of writing gets lost when you just tailor to a niche audience. And I think these movies will go the same way if they keep pumping out these forced movies that have no original concept. They're just part of a timeline that's made even before anybody walks in the door who has an original idea. Nobody said, I want to do a Suicide Squad movie. I got the script here. This is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to cast. It was in reverse. The studio said, we need a Suicide Squad movie. Who's available? Who wants to sustain their career? Oh, everybody from Fast and the Furious is ending the Fast and Furious movies. They want another big franchise with sequels. Let's just bring them on board. Why is Superman, not American? Why is Wonder Woman a chick who looks nothing like you would expect Wonder Woman to look like? I'm not judging her performance because the movie's not out, but I'm like, we have actresses like Jessica Biel. Why not give her a shot? Oh, because she's not clamoring desperately to come from one big franchise to another one. It's just like
you said when you spoke about the animation. They can't take risks. They don't need to. They're going to use their money. Like, when I heard about how much money they spent on Green Lantern, it's just like, why?
Oh, $300 million, yeah.
Like, why did you do that? Why?
Yeah, but
they just throw money. They think they need to do things a certain way. Hey, look, man. It's not like I'm championing Marvel, but I'm glad. And to me, there's no competition. Marvel never set out to outdo DC because there was no competition. Marvel did their own thing. They're on a level. They got back Spider-Man now, even showing Sony, hey man, this is what and people are falling suit. So there was a funny joke that they wish that Disney would just buy DC And
just make it a one.
Just make it a one family and just get. And look, man,
that would be fucking crazy.
It would be, man, and you never know because I'm telling you, man.
But do you agree on that? Even if in theory you can reboot this stuff over and over again, in long time it's going to damage the brand. Because Batman, the reason why I really wanted them to wait, because he's already being cliched.
The only reason why this might work in DC's favor is, like I said, there's not a battle. Marvel are not fighting DC right now. Marvel are doing their own thing. They're winning. If DC fuck up, yeah, they keep fucking up. What's going to happen? They're going to have to shrink away, reform their strategy. Marvel have their time to shine, and then people might get bored of Marvel. After 10 years of dominance, 20 years, then DC might, by that time, DC might have thought out their strategy properly, made the foundation, got anime series back, got people hungry again, and come back strong. It's far down the line, and I know DC ain't gonna wait that long because it's business. But, hey, on my mind, do I want them to fail? No. Do I think they're gonna succeed? No way! From what I've seen now, miracle. That's the word I'm thinking, a miracle. And I hate to be here. I know, hey guys, if you're a DC fan watching this thinking, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I love the New 52. I love Man of Steel. I love everything, all the new styles. I love the casting. I love Ben Affleck. I love everything I'm seeing right now. You know what, man? Good luck. Because honestly, this is one of the kind of worst kind of preparation for a kind of franchise I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen such a mess, and they're so secretive about it. It shows, the secretiveness shows no confidence. No confidence. You push the film back a year to add in more characters that have no foundation. Give me a fucking break. Really? You confident in this? I want to, as soon as you hear one, if this shit was falling apart behind the scenes, we wouldn't even know. And they wouldn't want anyone to know now because just like us, people are already, the majority of people are very skeptical. Very skeptical. And me saying skeptical is even being a bit generous. So, there hasn't been, people have been very hush-hush about this whole process. And I haven't heard any negative things. All we've heard is casting. All we're hearing is casting news. Every picture we see Zack Snyder is a very nice, well done poster of everyone in their pose, which is nice and dandy. I haven't seen one teaser trailer, that stupid thing with Batman flying and them looking like, that's bullshit. They haven't even released that normally. Like, they only did the Comic-Con one. They haven't even got the confidence to do that. No, what the fuck why are you so secretive? You've not given me any confidence. And the reason why, people understand this, the reason why I'm so pissed off is because I love this fucking industry. I love DC. I love these characters. Yeah, I know. I sound like a little bitch now. Yeah, but you know what?
It's all about love.
I'm glad you're on because, I'll probably hear that in the comments anyway. But it's true. I love this. I love Superman. I love I love the animated shit. I haven't seen them. I shouldn't be heartbroken because I haven't seen them do a good live action movie since the old Superman. Batman for me was okay. You mean
the Tim Burton ones?
Both.
Okay.
Forget the other three. Forget Forever and Robin. But the first two, Batman Returns and Batman, and the Christopher Nolan ones, I think they're okay. They tainted that already by just throwing Batman right back in the mix without even letting people enjoy that franchise for 10 years. I mean, I always thought there was like a 10-year, give it 10 years to rest.
Well, that would have been the smart thing. And see,
no, it wouldn't be the smart thing because we need Batman to save the day. That's the smart thing is get Batman in this shit right now.
Well, if you look at it,
I'm finished, man. Guys. I'm finished. I'm gonna let you finish because I
you're dead. Like you just vented it all out.
Tired, yeah.
Now, to me, if you look at it, we went in terms of just box office gross. If you want to talk about business, we went from one movie making over $1 billion, which Marvel took like the compilation. Okay, none of the standalone Marvel movies made $1 billion. Broke that $1 billion mark.
Yeah.
And took the Avengers. DC had it all. DC had a history. They had a formula. They were up there. That every single one of their movies, in theory, it was of equal quality. Could create a brand that makes over $1 billion. So when those characters come together, it would have been like Avatar money.
Yeah.
But they completely went backwards by rushing it and introducing a movie like Man of Steel that bangs so hard. Like Zack Snyder wasn't even on the poster. It was like Christopher Nolan returns. The executive producer.
That's what they should call the movie. Christopher Nolan returns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, and then he comes out and says, "I got nothing to do with this shit. I just had notes."
Hey, don't blame me.
I sent emails, man. Like I didn't want this, and you know they offer Christian Bale, "Do you want to return?" He was like, "No, thank you. I'm out." And then they asked Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Even he says, "Fuck you." And you know how does it make you feel about Ben Affleck's casting? Where after 2 people said no, they were like, "Okay, Ben, you want to take another crack of this Daredevil stuff?"
So let's be fair and let's end the video on this. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I haven't even thought about it, but it just came to mind. I always think if you're going to criticize something, have the balls to see if you come up with a solution. If you were in DC shoes right now, you had the power to make some managerial decisions.
Okay.
What would you do to that fixes? How would you go about doing this?
Okay.
Try to keep it short though.
Okay, so I think after Star Wars comes out this December, Star Wars and you know cinematic sci-fi is gonna be much bigger than superhero. So they're gonna bring back the Matrix. So I would focus on the Matrix and I would cut DC and I would start building it up from the smaller characters.
See, I was talking about helping. You're saying forget about it.
Look, Zack Snyder. Yeah. I used to give that boy credit.
Yeah.
But Watchmen, Sucker Punch, and Man of Steel. I just thought you are not a director. He's not a director. He's a special effects supervisor. Okay, I would keep that boy around to do special effects and all this stuff. Jesse Eisenberg as like a teenage Lex Luthor, and you're just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. So I would just cut it all out, let Marvel do the silly movie, jokey movie stuff, and I would get quality directors like the lady who I'm blanking on her name, but who did the Hurt Locker?
Okay.
To do Wonder Woman. Yeah, to do Wonder Woman. You know, and Neil Blomkamp to do Green Lantern. And I know a lot of these directors are sick of getting all these offers from studios. But
a lot of directors, I've heard a lot of directors say they're not into this superhero franchise stuff.
Because they're getting so many offers and they want to do original stories. But I'm just saying, once you cut out that immense pressure of meeting a timetable of projects that have been announced before anybody even cares about them, once you go back to the start and just develop these stories from the ground up, I would do that. I would focus on the next wave, which is the sci-fi universe. You know, you already see Fox bringing back Alien, Star Wars. Obviously, they have like a ton of movies aligned. You know, the Matrix is coming, so I'm like, you already screwed up the Matrix sequels, so don't screw up the Matrix reboot and just cut DC.
That's the first I'm hearing about that, by the way.
Oh, that's my prediction. You can bet money on that.
Okay. Well,
anyway, so cut DC out, give it a hiatus, and come back strong with people attached to the project who actually want to do the project.
Yeah, I honestly think I'll go back to my original thing. Superman should have had his time to shine. They should have just stuck with a Man of Steel 2, fixing the movie, fixing the character, and maybe introduce one character that isn't Batman, for God's sake. Someone else, and put just where he comes in.
Oh yeah, they could introduce like Robin, and then Batman.
No, forget that. No, Batman will be out. Someone, any of the others, even I think the best choice might have been Martian Manhunter. I think he might have been the best choice in the next two because he's very much like Superman with a very similar backstory. I think that would have been a better way to go, but that's never going to happen. So like him, the more realistic approach is they are going to fail. They're going to have to wash everything away, start again. It's a shame because it's just a shame. There's no because it's just a shame. And until I see something live action, a trailer, they might need to mislead me with a really good trailer that isn't even the quality, that isn't even the final product, just something because they haven't shown anything after 2 years, just pictures, poster pictures, character pictures, and casting that is all over the place. So honestly, let me just be real with you guys and say I have absolutely no hope right now. I don't. But will I be in first tonight to see it? Yeah, because I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to watch it. Do you want to talk about the Michelle Rodriguez video?
Yeah, lastly, just as a side note, the only reason I want to throw this in is you can relate this to all superhero movies. You guys probably heard, or maybe you didn't, because on Facebook there was this rumor about they wanted to cast Michelle Rodriguez as the Green Lantern because obviously the white one what's that white one called?
Hal Jordan.
The Hal Jordan character, all he flopped with that movie. They wanted to get Idris Elba, but Marvel got him on lockdown. So apparently they wanted to do the Tyrese thing, but word on the internet was that when they look at the Justice League, they're too male orientated.
Yeah.
They're way too. The one was only
because they're not gonna do Hog Girl.
Like, yeah, and they're not gonna go outside the 7, so they got to keep it core. So instead, they need to interchange one of the characters, and the only one they can do that makes sense is Green Lantern because it's a group of people they can interchange. And that character, the one they wanted to introduce, was just one female with Green Lantern that had a small little mini story. Nobody knows. I thought it was ridiculous. Michelle Rodriguez was caught by TMZ saying that she made a flippant comment saying that it's a silly idea, blah, 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 blah. It went viral. People said she's a hater, she's racist. But then she made another video, which I'm going to leave a link to on the screen, which you should check out, where she made some really conscious, intellectual, sensible things about how we should stop trying to just interchange characters into races. Like, what's the example?
Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, even the Black Spider-Man has a story. He's an alternate. So even that doesn't count. But sometimes they try to change characters, different races. I don't know why I can't think of it. This is happening recently.
Even though he's not like a major
character.
character.
But that's an example. Because there's not enough ethnicity, diversity. So why don't we... So she was saying, basically, we need to be more creative. We need to make...
Yeah.
But everything she said was great and it was fine. It made perfect sense. But at the end of the day, it harps on everything we just said. It's business. They're not going to write a new character from scratch. Put them in decent, put them on. It's never going to happen. They can't even get the well-established characters right. So there's no way they're going to do this color switching for now because that's the best they can do. That's the best they can do, you know. And it's what she said is sensible, but I just think in terms of business, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it is though, because I see a lot of demand for more diversity, but people always say the same thing. That drives me up the wall. That they say, well, because new characters don't stick. You gotta do it with the old characters. I'm like, but here's the thing. The reason why we even need more diversity, because we don't have, as of right now, bankable, well-known characters that rely on, a black lead, or from any, and that goes the same for any minority background, and even that's relevant compared to where you go. Because now China's coming up, so in China, white people are a minority, so what are you going to do? Create a Chinese superhero to appeal to the Chinese market? But the bottom line is that every time they introduce a black character, he's the black version of something. The reason I don't like the idea of a black Spider-Man, not because I don't like the Miles Morales character. I think the Miles Morales character is awesome. Yeah. But give him his own identity and his own main book, so then you can't say that, okay, this is a one-off, and then everything goes back to the original. And DC already has bankable, good characters like Icon, Steel, Mr. Terrific, Cyborg, even the new Aqualad,
Yeah, oh man.
And if Will Smith wanted to be a villain who's black...
Well, thank you. That's the best example.
Because, especially since that character fits in Will Smith's profile of, he's a bad guy, but... he has a code of honor because he's just pissed about, him not getting the throne. If you don't know, it's the Black Manta. Yeah, Black Manta with the I'll put a picture on the screen. Yeah, exactly. But that character would have been perfect for him. But again, they just went with the obvious. Take the main Suicide Squad guy, Deadshot, and just turn him black. It's like, don't make the black version of somebody. Take the existing black characters, make them popular, or create brand new characters.
I'm gonna say, I completely agree with what you're saying, Simon. But I just think we need to... I know people are going to hate me for saying this. I just think we need to take it one step at a time. And it's going to have to start with the cherry picking, the colour switching for now. And then eventually I think we'll get there. Marvel got Black Panther, which I'm dying to see. I can't wait. Marvel have already got...
Didn't you think it was funny how people were clamoring for Black Panther, and then he got pushed back because of Spider-Man? And everybody was like, yay!
Business. People, let's leave it here. We've said enough. Yeah. You know what? Let us know your thoughts. Well, actually, first before that, thank you for watching.
Thank you for surviving for the past hour.
You know what? I hate to think that we're biased and all that, but everything we've said is our own opinion, and it is biased in that sense. But I do feel, I've heard some people say what we said. I just tried to look on YouTube. I couldn't find anyone. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Long-winded answers are very welcome. I don't care. We spent probably 40 minutes to an hour talking about.
Feels like 5 hours.
We spent a long time talking about this in one go, but I really want to get this off my chest. And again, thank you. If you got this far, let us know what you thought of our thoughts in the comment section below. We appreciate that. And hopefully, most definitely, you're likely to see this fellow back on again in future reviews. Very opinionated fella.
Thank you very much.
And until the next one, people, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.
Go watch James Bond instead. Thank you.
I think they will turn it black eventually too.
I don't mind that. James Bond, the only character you can turn black is James Bond.
Cut. Cut.